Nice.
Okay.
It's 2 officers for 3 cases. We only have the one for the one, not the one
All
for
right.
the 2.
You can go ahead and swear him in.
Please swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give to the court is the truth, the truth, so help you God.
I do.
All right, watch your step as you go up. When you sit down in the chair, get as close as possible to the microphone. Say your first and last name and spell it.
Okay. My name is Chad Gurley. That's ChadGurley.
If it may please the court, good afternoon, Your Honor. ADA Matthew Norwood for the state. Good afternoon,
Oh, we're
officer.
just doing position 2, right?
Yes, this is just position 2.
All right.
Yes, Judge.
22 CP 213602, Garen Peters, 95 days without indictment, got armed robbery. Go ahead, Mr. Norwood.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, Officer Gurley. Thank you for being here. Could you please introduce yourself? Where are you currently employed?
I am employed by the City of Atlanta Police Department.
How long have you been employed with the City of Atlanta Police Department?
Since 2004.
What are your duties with the City of Atlanta Police Department?
Right now, I'm assigned to what is called the robbery unit. We handle the robberies, anything such as armed robberies, home invasions, things like that.
So you do have training and experience in investigating those types of cases?
Yes.
Okay. What kind of training and experience do you have?
I just have experience with many search warrants, arrest warrants. I've been assigned to the unit for many years now. So I have investigated many different types of robberies.
Do you have any prior law enforcement experience?
I do. I spent 4 years with the Sheriff's Department in Illinois, then about 1.5 years with DeKalb Police.
Have you been post-certified at all times with your tenure with the Atlanta Police Department?
Yes.
Were you post-certified on October 17th, 2022?
I was.
Can you tell the court about the incident that occurred on October 17th, 2022? How did your investigation begin?
Okay. Well, what had taken place was it was about 12:44 in the morning on October 17th. We received a 911 call from a young lady, Kendi Franklin. She said that she had been robbed at knife point. The location was 3225 Peachtree Road Northeast, which is Brown and Company Jewelers parking lot. As she's waiting for the police, a couple of Kennedy's friends had arrived. And while they were speaking with her, during the robbery, one of the things that was stolen was her cell phone. Now, what had happened was after the phone was taken, it was unlocked, it was taken. The person that took it found an explicit video on the victim's phone. It was the victim having sex. That video was posted to Instagram. Now, when the victim found this out, instead of waiting for police, she went home to get on her laptop to try to remove that video. So at that moment, the report itself was not made right then. It was later that same day, probably about 5:45, the victim walked into the Zone 2 precinct to make this report with an officer. After that report was made, it was assigned to me to follow up on.
What date was it assigned to you to follow up on again?
It should have been that same day because of the circumstances.
The 17th of October?
Yeah, the 17th or the 18th.
Okay. The 17th or the 18th? Okay. With respect to your armed robbery warrant, how did you arrive to your probable cause conclusion for that?
Well, after the report was assigned to me, I made contact with the victim and asked her for some details. She said that she was in the parking lot. It was probably about 12:15, 12:20 a.m. on her phone. She was approached by a black male, about mid-20s, 5'5", 5'6", and something that stood out was the hat that he was wearing. She described it as an Eskimo hat with floppy ears. Now, he came up to her and tried to make small talk, and when she looked down, she saw that he had a folding knife in the open position in his hand. She remembered having a silver blade. She said she froze. That's when the guy reached up, snatched her phone, and ran off to a black car. And then again, she said it was a few minutes later when she discovered that the video was posted of herself.
And this was that in the parking lot of 3225 Peachtree Road Northeast?
Yes.
Is that in Fulton County?
It is.
Okay. It's a business?
Brown and Company Jeweler.
Okay. Do any of the parties work at that business?
No.
Was it open?
It was not.
What time of day did this happen?
It was around 12:15, 12:20 a.m.
Okay. Is there surveillance video?
They do have cameras, but the cameras did not catch the crime itself.
Okay. Were there any cameras that caught this crime
No.
aside from the posting of the video, or the recording of the video being posted on internet records?
Yes.
Okay.
And the video was posted about 1 a.m. I'm sorry, about 1:09 a.m.
Okay. How did you identify the suspect?
That same day, it was probably about 10 p.m. on the 17th. Brookhaven Police Department responded to a robbery. The victim described a black male around 5'8" with the hat again with floppy ears, approached her, snatched her phone, and ran. She got a partial tag, and Brookhaven Police was able to quickly find that car in motion. They did a traffic stop, and the driver was identified as Garen Peters. During the investigation, they were able to charge Garen with the Brookhaven robbery. Now, during the search of the vehicle, Brookhaven recovered, I believe it was 8 cell phones. Their investigators was able to determine that 2 of the cell phones, actually 3 of the cell phones were taken during similar robberies. One was in the city of Chamblee, and then 2 were from the city of Atlanta. All these robberies happened on October the 17th throughout the day. Unfortunately, none of the phones that found were from my victim, Miss Franklin. Now, I researched the 2 robberies that took place in Atlanta. One of those robberies, again, the same thing, description with, she called it a trapper style hat, which I looked that up, and it's the same thing. It's the big, like a Russian style hat with floppy ears. Okay. So fast forward to October the 20th. When Brookhaven made the arrest, they towed the car to a location in Chamblee. I obtained a search warrant from DeKalb County to search that vehicle. I was able to locate a folding knife with a silver blade in the side door compartment of the driver's side. And I also found some paperwork with Garen's name on it and a phone number. Now, if I can go back to the video, when this video was posted to Instagram, it was also sent out to a couple of contacts in her phone, one being her father. So of course, when the father received this video, he called the phone and found out it was a male person saying, look, I want money or I'm going to keep putting this video out there. The father said he was not tech savvy, so he had a friend contact the suspect, and they came up with, I've gotten 2 different figures. I've been told 5,000 and I've been told 6,500. That was sent to the suspect in this case. The suspect provided 2 different Cash App names. The first one was G Baby Peso, and the second one was Baby G Dollars. Now, by the time the victim came into Zone 2 precinct to make a report, they did their own research, and they found a variation of Baby G Dollars that the Cash App is searchable, so you can put in a phone number, a name, or a cash, what they call a cash tag, and it will provide you with the information that a person gives to Cash App. Well, they would find out a variation of G Baby Dollars came back to a Garen Peters. Now, I ran his driver's license and I came up with the phone number. I punched that phone number into Cash App, and it came back to a G Baby Dollars, which is different than what was provided to the victim in this case. But on the piece of paper that I found in the car with his phone number, it's a different phone number. When I checked it, it was Baby G Dollars, which is one of the Cash App names that was used to send the money to.
All right. Do you see the person in the courtroom today who was identified as the suspect, Garen Peters?
Based off his driver's license photo, yes, I can see Garen sitting at the defendant's table.
Can you stand up and describe physically where they are sitting and what they are wearing?
Back here, he's got the blue jumpsuit with a white undershirt and beard.
All right. Thank you. You can have a seat now. Your Honor, may the record reflect that the officer has identified the defendant, Garen Peters.
Noted.
All right. With respect to Kennedy Franklin, what was taken from Kennedy Franklin?
Only her cell phone.
What kind of cell phone was it?
It was an iPhone 12.
Okay. And you spoke to her and she described the circumstances that led to the taking of the phone?
Yes.
And she felt threatened by the use of the knife?
Yes.
How big was the knife?
She described it as just a folding knife. The one I found had a blade maybe 2 inches, 3 inches long,
Possibly 3 inches?
possibly.
Did you see it though? You didn't measure it with a ruler or anything?
I did not know.
In your training and experience and knowledge, can these blades be 3 inches?
They can be, yes.
So it's probable that it could be, it's 3 inches. Is that what you're
Yes.
saying? Okay. Did Kennedy Franklin describe being intimidated by Garen Peters?
Again, once she said she saw the knife, she just froze. She was afraid and didn't say anything.
Was there, excuse me, I didn't mean to cut you
Oh,
off.
she didn't say anything to him. Once he tried to make small talk with her, once she saw the knife, she just froze, and that's when he grabbed her phone.
Did Kennedy Franklin know Garen Peters?
She does not know.
So this is a stranger on stranger.
Yes.
Do you know how Garen Peters was able to unlock the iPhone?
She was actually using it when he took it from her. So it was unlocked.
It was already unlocked. Okay. Okay. And Kennedy Franklin's, you said iPhone 12 Pro, was it?
I just know iPhone 12.
iPhone 12. Was that iPhone 12 recovered?
It was not.
Okay. But upon your taking a search warrant out on the vehicle, what did you find?
I found a folding knife with a silver blade in the driver's side door.
And identifying documents?
Yes.
Okay. And are you aware of 2 other cases involving Garen Peters out of the city of Atlanta?
I do know the 2 that I just mentioned, the other 2 robberies where the cell phones were snatched from the ladies without a weapon.
Did you consult with with the officer on that case?
I have talked to Investigator Billick.
What did he tell you about those cases?
Just after talking to him, reading from the reports, basically, one was a Publix on Carmia Drive, and the other one was a Kroger on Piedmont Road. And basically, just someone walked up to the ladies and snatched the phones from their hands and ran. The one on Piedmont Road, again, she described in black male with the floppy-eared hat. The one on Carmia Drive, she didn't give it a really good description, especially of a hat. But again, just same method, just walked up, snatched it, and ran.
Is Piedmont Road in Fulton County?
It is.
Is Carmia Drive in Fulton County?
Yes.
Did you talk to any of the victims in those cases?
I did not.
What was taken from the victim in the Piedmont Road case?
Piedmont Road was an iPhone 12, as was Carmia Drive.
So 2 iPhones.
Yes.
And were those iPhones recovered?
They were recovered in Garen's car by Brookhaven Police.
Did you talk to the family member of Kennedy Franklin let's bring our attention back to the incident from the 17th of October at 3225 Peachtree. Did you talk to Kennedy Franklin's father?
I did.
What did he say?
He said that once he made contact with the person that posted the video, there was just some back and forth about money. He wanted money in order to not post the video or make it more public than it already had been made.
Did they pay any money?
They did. Mr. Franklin said he paid $5,000, but Kennedy Franklin's daughter came up with an amount of $6,500, and I didn't ask for clarification yet of which it actually is. I've been trying to reach the person that actually paid the money, the family friend, but I haven't been able to get in contact with him yet.
Do you examine the Cash App records?
I have sent Cash App a search warrant. I have not received those records yet.
Okay. When did you send the search warrant to Cash App?
It would have been a few days after the robbery, so sometime in October.
What was the purpose of sending that warrant to Cash App?
Just to confirm the transactions, see how much they were, and just to get the user information for the cash tags that were sent to the victim.
Okay. And with respect to going back to the parking lot, were there any witnesses in that parking lot, or was there anybody else in that parking lot?
It was only Kennedy at that moment, the victim.
And what kind of car was the suspect operating?
She described it as a black car. But if I can, the other jurisdictions, Brookhaven, They again described as a black car.
Okay.
But that same day, it was about 5:28 p.m. An officer saw a black Mazda 6 being driven around Buckhead without a tag on it. So when the officer pulled the car over, it was Garen Peters, and he had put his driver's license and the tag out the window. And the officer said, "What's going on?" He's like, "I wanted to see what would happen if I drove around without a tag on my car." And you can see on the body camera footage, Garen is wearing the black hat with the floppy ears at the time of the traffic stop.
Okay. Is there anything about the incident? I guess the dates of the two other incidents, the one on Piedmont Drive and Piedmont Road and Carmilla Drive, were those also on October 17, 2022?
They were Carmilla Drive on the same day at 11:04 a.m. and Piedmont Road was at 3:05 p.m.
And what time was the one with Kennedy Franklin on Peachtree Road?
That was about 12:20 a.m.
Very, very early. It was earlier.
Yes.
Okay. Is there anything about any of these incidents that we haven't covered today that you can tell the court about?
I'm sorry?
Is there anything about any of the incidents that occurred on the three incidents on October 17, 2022 that we haven't covered today?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. And you were post-certified throughout the entire investigation?
Yes.
No further questions for the witness at this time, Your Honor.
So I'm assuming that you're covering all three cases with him?
I was going to ask Your Honor to see if we could also cover the two other cases.
Okay, so that'll be 23 CP 215341, 95 days without indictment, robbery by sudden snatching, and then 23 CP 215342, 95 days without indictment and robbery by sudden snatching. Go ahead, you can cross, Mr. Houston.
Well, Officer Gurley, were you the investigator for this case?
For the armed robbery, yes.
Okay. Were you the investigator on any other cases?
No.
Okay. Were you the reporting officer for this case?
No.
Okay. What is the reporting officer's name?
It is Officer Major.
Okay. In your direct examination, you explained that the address to the incident location is Brown and Company Jewelers, correct?
Yes.
Did Mrs. Franklin give any explanation of why she was in Brown and Company's parking lot?
She had been to a neighboring location. I believe it's called Whiskey Mistress.
Okay.
So once she left, she went to the parking lot and she was waiting for her friends to show up.
Is that a tavern, Whiskey Mistress?
I know they serve alcohol and maybe a bar. I'm not sure exactly what kind.
Okay. Had Mrs. Franklin been drinking that day?
I did not ask.
Okay. And there were no surveillance cameras at Brown and Company?
They did have surveillance cameras. They just did not cover the part of the parking lot where the crime took place.
Okay. And no surveillance cameras to cover the actual crime taking place, correct?
No.
Okay. And the only account that you have of the event is from Mrs. Franklin?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have the name of the person who assisted the father of Mrs. Franklin?
I know his name is Norman.
Do you have a last name?
Not right now, no.
Okay. And Mrs. Franklin's father's name?
Kirk Franklin.
Okay. And did Mrs. Franklin receive her property?
She has not received her phone, no.
Okay. And it's your testimony that Mr. Peters was found with 8 iPhones?
He was found with 8 phones. I don't know if they're all iPhones.
Okay. Were any of the phones found Mrs. Franklin's?
No.
Okay. And as far as the either 5,000 or 6,500, was there any supporting documents provided to account for the money allegedly paid?
Not right now. That's what I have requested from Cash App, but I'm still waiting.
Okay. Did Mr. Norman show you where he sent 5,000 or 6,500?
Not yet. I've not talked to Mr. Norman, but I've asked for those documents from Kennedy and her father. but they have not gotten back to me yet.
Okay. That'll conclude my questions, Your Honor.
All right, redirect.
Very briefly, Your Honor, and again, permission to address all three cases.
Sure.
Yes, Judge.
Your Honor, I would object to addressing all three cases. The investigator just testified that he wasn't the reporting officer, or nor was he the investigator on the other two cases.
Right. And
May I respond?
yes,
We subpoenaed investigator Belock, and on my direct officer Gurley, is it Detective Gurley?
Yes.
Detective Gurley advised that he spoke with investigator Belock. We believe that's permissible.
He's,
go ahead. Yeah, he said he consulted with him or talked to him about the,
What was that?
well, consulting is not the actual investigation. He wasn't the reporting officer. And again, he's not the investigator assigned to the case. He didn't take out the warrant of the case. He doesn't have any firsthand knowledge of the case. So I would object to him testifying on two other
you
cases.
talked to him about the incidents, the robberies, in details or?
Not in detail. We just talked about what each other had. I know he's got some video from inside the stores. And then just again, Mr. Peters being found with the phones. But I mean,
Can you talk about the defendant specifically?
Yes.
Okay. I'll let him testify about that. That's fine. I think he'll have enough. I mean, I think he'll have enough. He read it.
Yes, Judge. I was
Let's
gonna
talk
ask-
with him. I think he'll have, he'll have enough knowledge.
I was just going to ask a few more questions just so we can confirm that, that there is a basis here to proceed on
Sure.
to proceed. Yes, Judge. But is investigator Belock, is he post certified?
Yes, he should be. Yes.
You know how long he's been with Atlanta Police Department?
I do not. He's been for a very lot longer than I have.
And then he has training and experience in investigating robberies of this nature?
Thefts and the same as I.
Are you all in the same unit?
We're not.
Okay.
He's a different unit.
What unit is he in?
I believe it's called the larceny unit.
Okay. And what unit are you again, just for the record?
I'm in the robbery unit where we handle with a weapon. He's in the larceny unit, which should handle just the snatch of a phone would be something he would investigate.
I see. Did Investigator Belock advise of any weapon use in either of the cases on Piedmont Road or Carmia Drive?
He did not, and I read the reports as well. There was no mention of a weapon.
So you did read the reports?
Yes.
Okay. But you didn't write any of the reports?
I did not.
But you did write the report for the case with Kennedy Franklin?
I wrote a supplemental. Officer Major wrote the original report.
Do you know how old Kennedy Franklin is? Or age or date of birth?
He is early, I can find out she's early 20s, I think 23.
That's in the report though.
It is. I don't have that in front of me, but
Respect to the victims in the other cases, are you familiar with their names?
with their names,
Yes.
no.
Okay. If I showed you warrants of those, would you be able to identify the victims from those cases?
Yes.
And again, you did speak with Investigator Belock. Did you review the warrants in his case?
I have not reviewed his warrants, no.
Did you review the report though?
Yes.
Okay. And the report was based on the warrants?
The report was based on the crime itself.
Okay.
And then just, Investigator Bellick's warrants would have been taken out afterwards.
You're on a permission to approach the witness stand with the
Sure.
warrants?
They'd be different. The warrants were based on the report instead of the,
Oh, yes.
What's the-
I meant it-
yeah, you go ahead. You can approach.
Yes, Judge. Did you want to see?
You want to see them?
I have.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. It's just the two warrants.
Okay. That's fine.
This is the permanent job case. Can you identify the victim in that case?
Let me see. The victim would be Anisha Womack.
What was taken?
This here, the warrant itself actually says iPhone Max 14.
Here's the warrant for the Piedmont Road case. Can you identify the victim?
And the victim here is Deborah Levin, and she had an iPhone 12 that was taken.
And both of these took place in Fulton County?
Yes.
Did you get any of those?
No.
Did y'all need the spellings for everything?
I'm sorry.
Are there any spellings needed for any victim name?
I don't believe so.
It was for the court reporter.
No, Madam Court Reporter, do you need any of the victim's
Oh,
name spelled?
sorry.
Oh, yes, Your Honor, please. First of all, if we could spell the investigator's name on the matter, and if we could spell Ms. Womack's name, I think that would be very helpful. Thank you.
The investigator on the stand, you want him to spell his name?
No. I think it said Belock. I didn't hear that clearly. The investigator besides Detective Gurley, the
Yes.
initial
would-
investigator who wrote the report.
Yes, that is Bilak. He took the warrants out. Jason Bilak, he took the warrants out for 22 CP 215341 and 23. That's 23 CP 215341 and 23 CP 215342. That's Jason Bilak took those warrants out, and Detective Gurley has advised that he spoke with Investigator Bilak. With respect to Anisha Womack's name, the first name is Aneisha. Womack is Womack.
Thank you, 88 Norwood.
No problem. Thank you, Madam Court Reporter. And was any of the property taken from Miss or Anisha Womack or Deborah Levin? Was that recovered?
Yes, a cell phone for each person was found.
That's what did you find them?
No, that's what Brookhaven Police Department found
Okay.
in Garen, his car.
And you consulted with those officers as well?
Yes.
Okay. When was what date was that property recovered?
That would have been during the arrest. That was October 17th. And let me see, I know the crime itself took place around 10 p.m. and they stopped him shortly thereafter. So.
Okay. And how did you, to take our attention back to the Kennedy Franklin armed robbery, I just want to go back through the Cash App information. How did you get the G Baby dollars information? Or Baby G dollars?
So that is what was supplied to the victim, G Baby peso and Baby G dollars.
When they were demanding payment?
Yes.
To take the video down?
Yes,
Was the video ever taken down?
it was.
When was it taken down?
That I don't know. I know Ms. Franklin went home to do that. So shortly after the crime.
And again, you did recover the silver folding knife?
Yes,
Okay. Is it in evidence?
it is.
Has any other evidence been collected?
No.
Did you arrest the defendant?
Brookhaven was arrested, but I secured a warrant for him.
Security warrant. Okay. No further questions for this defendant, Your Honor.
Cross?
Yes, the incident involving Anisha Womack, that took place at Publix.
3730 Carmilla Drive Southwest, Publix.
Okay. Was there any surveillance footage of that video? I mean, of that incident?
Am I able to review
Yes,
those warrants?
you can. Permission to approach the witness with the warrant?
Yes.
You can refresh your recollection with the warrant, but you can't read from the warrant. So after you've done refreshing recollection, you can look back up and continue answering questions.
Okay. There's no mention of any video being found for the Carmilla Drive.
Okay, and I just want to circle back again. So the initial police report was completed by Officer Gooding, correct?
Yes.
And the warrant was taken out by Detective Bilak.
Yes, Billick.
My apologies. And you have no firsthand knowledge of the incident for Anisha Womack, correct?
Other than speaking with the Brookhaven investigator, he's the one that recovered Miss Womack's cell phone from the car. No.
And you did not investigate the alleged robbery by sudden snatching?
I did not.
Okay. To your recollect, Was there a vehicle license plate captured on surveillance footage?
There was not for the Publix incident.
Okay. No further questions, Your Honor.
Redirect,
No redirect, Your Honor.
anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Anything else?
At this time, no, Your Honor. May our witness be excused?
Yes, thank you. Stay safe out there.
Thank you, ma'am.
Argument.
We'll submit it, subject to rebuttal, Your Honor.
Good.
We submit to the testimony. We defer to the court's discretion.
One quick note then, Your Honor.
Sure.
Thank you. Have a good one. We do ask that you find probable cause for all three cases. And we just wanted to briefly just point to Blethell versus Fleming, 310 Georgia App 717, where hearsay is required to be admitted by Your Honor in a preliminary hearing setting. So we would ask that the hearsay or the discussions that this investigator had with the investigator in those two cases be weighed here. And that is the state's basis for that request is the necessity of hearsay being admitted at preliminary hearings. And if you are so inclined, we also ask for an additional possession of a knife or a firearm during possession of during commission of a felony in position 2. I'm looking at some other charges as well. I can't particularly find them, but it's at least a harassing communications. Perhaps some more charges. We definitely will be following up on additional charges in this case as well. I just need a little bit more time to get into the code, but
On the alleged extortion or what?
yes, it's bribery or blackmail or.
All right, anything else?
We just submit to the testimony on the position of
3.
position 2 and
Oh, was it?
And-
I'm sorry, 2, sorry.
yeah, position 2 and 5, and we asked that no probable cause be found on position 6. I didn't hear any evidence or any testimony to the specifics of the case.
On the crow on the post. All right, I'll find probable cause on all 3 cases and I'll add possession of a knife or a firearm during the commission of a felony. He has been in there 95 days without bond. We'll go ahead and address bond pre-trial.
Judge, 3 prior arrests, no convictions. The new charges were just filed on the 11th of January. Nothing further.
All right, go ahead.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Peters is 24 years of age. He is a high school graduate. Prior to his incarceration, he was working at Publix. Originally from Miami, been in Atlanta for the past 2 years. Does have an Atlanta address. He's been in for over 90 days. In terms of bond, Your Honor, we would ask for a bond of no higher than $20,000 on each charge. Thank you.
Is he living at the Brooks Avenue?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. Go ahead, counsel.
Yes, Judge. With respect to the Iowa factors, we would submit this defendant a significant danger to property in the public, particularly the victims here, Anisha Womack, Deborah Levin, and Kennedy Franklin. Very alarming allegations here, particularly in position 2. We would submit that case is undercharged right now and ask that Your Honor set a bond reflective of that. We would submit there is a risk of intimidating victims here or otherwise obstructing justice. Given the nature of these crimes happening in the same day repetitively, we appreciate the relative lack of convictions here, but we would submit there is a significant risk of this defendant committing additional felonies should they make bond. I'm asking for nothing lower than $25,000 good on position 2. We'll leave positions 5 and 6 in the discretion of Your Honor. Asking for a stay away from all incident locations and no further contact with any victim or witness.
If I may, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
In addressing the intimidating the victims, it was the officer testified that the victims do not know. It was stranger on stranger. The victims don't know the defendant. The defendant doesn't know the victims. And again, he has only 3 cycles prior to this. That's all, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. All right, so on, all right, Ms. Rowland, so for case 2, ending in 3602. So we've got the armed robbery. We'll add the possession of a knife or a firearm during the commission of a felony. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. Stay away from 3225 Peachtree Road and that is Brown Company Jewelry Store. No further contact with Kennedy, Kennedy Franklin, common spelling. No drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, no use of social media. No use of social media, and that includes any Cash App, Zelle, any way you can electronically transfer money. You're gonna have a 24-hour curfew with an ankle monitor paid for by the county with it. You can leave for court, medical, and to see your lawyer, sir. Let's see if I forgot anything. I think that's, or also no further contact. I don't think it has her father's name in here. I'm assuming it's Mr. Franklin. I mean,
I think it's Mr. I don't have the information. I do have a report from our victim witness advocate. I just want to pull that up. I think we are still working on the victim contact, but I want to look at that one very quickly and so Your Honor has all the information.
The state's witness testified that the father's name was Kirk Franklin.
Kirk,
Yes.
K-I-R-K, is that right? Okay. No further contact with Kirk Franklin, K-I-R-K, common spelling Franklin, or any other relative of Miss Franklin, Miss Kennedy Franklin, or Mr. Kirk Franklin. 25,000 on armed robbery, 20 on the possession of a knife during the commission of a felony. Position 5, no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons. Ankle monitor paid for by the county with a 24-hour curfew, court, lawyer, or medical. Oh, if you got another hold too, sir, if somebody comes to get you because something else pops up, I don't know. I'm not saying it is. You'll have 48 hours to have that ankle monitor placed on your ankle. I usually try to make that everybody. So stay away from. What's the address? Did I just do the same? I think I just pulled up the same one. Hold on.
Oh, I have those for you.
Well, I was pulling them up, reading this stuff off. Sorry, I just opened the same one. All right, there it is. Yeah, this one, he's also has no bond on 5341. Let's see. Stay away from 3730 Cormier Drive, Southwest in Atlanta, Georgia. No further contact with Anisha, A-N-E-I-S-H-A, Womack, W-O-M-A-C-K. I think that's the Publix grocery store, so stay away from all Publix grocery stores. You're going to have that ankle monitor still paid for by the county. Let's see if there's anyone else. No use of social media, no use of any cash apps. A 24-hour curfew, like I said, once again, you have 48 hours to have that placed on your ankle. That'll be $25,000 on that count too. On position 6, ending in 21342, that'll be $25,000 on that. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. Ankle monitor paid for by the county with a 24-hour curfew, court, lawyer, and medical. On one side, stay away from all Kroger grocery stores and parking lots. So that includes Publix grocery stores and parking lots. But unless you're bound by your 24-hour curfew, you should be absolutely fine with that. No further contact with, let me get this name again.
Is it?
Deborah,
Yes.
D-E-B-O-R-A-H, last name Levin, L-E-V-I-N, and stay away from 3330 Piedmont Road in Atlanta, Georgia. And that is the Kroger Shopping Center, so all Krogers. Let's see if there's anything else.
Just to confirm, we are still trying to get in contact with the victim and Kennedy, for all victims actually.
Well, that's what I'm trying to name all the victims.
Oh, Anisha, your name?
Anisha Womack, and
okay.
the other one, yeah.
Deborah Levin. And,
That's the one I just named. In this
okay.
one. Yeah, I was seeing if there was any more.
Oh, no, it's just those 3. And we did have
right?
witnesses in the first one with the father. And
Because you don't know the other person's name.
yeah, we don't know the.
Just real quick, making sure. Yeah, address. Yep, no social media, no cash app, same thing, the ankle monitor paid for by the county, no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons. Best of luck to you, sir. Who else? We got another, do we have another officer here? Or?
We do not.
I'm gonna send you a message in the chat.
Me?
Okay.
Judge, I make a motion on my case.
Yeah, let me see if he's got any kind of,
Oh, yeah. Okay, we actually had Billick on the way, but I think we're good now.
which one's yours? Because they all say Houston.
Ragland.
Officer
Check the chat,
Anderson.
Norwood.
All right.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
they were all, did you do an entry? I just didn't see it. Okay. You talking like I don't see anything in the chat, Boston.
I sent it to you in a text and I sent it to Norwood in the chat.
Oh, okay.
I definitely, it rang a bell. I'll tell you that. Yeah, we'll follow up on that. Oh, wow. The victims, we put the victim's name on the record, or the father's name on the record. So
I don't know the other guy's
I guess
name.
I could, yeah.
So
the record.
you knew you didn't have Ragland anymore?
Yeah.
No, you knew you didn't have it because your name was still listed. Okay, because your name was still listed. Okay, yeah, because your name was still on there.
On Officer Anderson.
So on,
We got all three. It was on the radio.
Bill, is it on
You said you got it? Or?
No, I reached out to the agency. Agency for advisor.
I think so. We just got the three, three. Position, I don't even know how do you pronounce that first? Is it Sihan, Ragland, which is yours, and Barber? So those three different officers?
One of them has the same phone.
I sent out the emails. Oh, you know, no, I gotta sign.
I think they printed up my calendar before your entry. I don't think it switched over because I still had.
They just probably didn't judge.
Yeah, now I hope you didn't go up to 5B. I guess they forgot to put a note. Judge Richardson had I think it was a 4 or 5 person co-defendant trial, but it pled, so.
You know, I called yesterday and verified Ms. Robinson.
Yeah.
Position two, you want me to just talk about?
Yeah, sure.
No, the victim is.
Yeah, I got that.
Oh, you got the, you already? Yeah, I thought it was. Yeah, I just looked it up. Oh, my goodness. Yeah.
That's his daddy?
I mean, that's all cases. I'm just saying, I'm just gonna read that. Yeah. Oh, man. What's that? Yeah. Yes, Your Honor.
All right, what you got? So, Mr. Taylor's got, this is Antonio Ragland, position 3, 22 CP 213604. Antonio Ragland, 95 days without indictment. His charge, I'll say the charge is aggravated assault. Go ahead. Mr. Norwood.
Yes, Judge. We are still awaiting an update from Officer Anderson. Investigator Pauls is present and in the courtroom. She has confirmed that all officers received a subpoena on, I believe it was the 26th of January. We had one officer arrive today. All officers are in the police department. If Your Honor would like to have any additional information on the record, Investigator Pauls is available to provide that. But at this time, we would just respectfully ask for a one-time reset.
Judge, I'm gonna make a motion to dismiss this warrant for warrant of prosecution. I think the warrant's pretty spurious in the beginning. I don't see any even probable cause for the warrant. There's no legal excuse why the officer is not present. As indicated, Mr. Ragland's been in custody 95 days. The state is confirming that all officers were subpoenaed. And I don't hear any legal basis for why the officer's not here, so I don't believe that it should be continued. We'd ask judges to dismiss the warrant for a warrant of prosecution. Obviously, the state has recourse if they want to go forward with their case, they can present it to a grand jury or whatever, but we'd ask them to be dismissed just for one prosecution.
If I may just brief,
On the spurs.
if I just may briefly respond to that, we're fine addressing bond today as,
I mean, I addressed it
Yeah.
on the 31st.
I was going to say, I think there was a recent bond hearing in this case, and just for the record, we are, getting a better system in place, but we received the calendars and when we subpoenaed officers, there's a lot of logistical, mechanisms that are happening at the same time. And of course, we know sometimes officers are away, sometimes they're on leave, sometimes it takes us some time to even confirm if they're still with that agency. So the state is making attempts to make sure that our witnesses are here when they're supposed to be. I just wanted to put that on the record, and Investigator Pauls can also attest to that as well.
It doesn't change our argument, Judge, here. And I think if you look at the warrant, the allegations in the warrant, I don't see the best, continue on this warrant. They're not here to prosecute on it. That's about any basis for what I would do. So no harm here, nobody injured here, nothing. So I would ask you to be dismissed just one prosecution.
There were alarming allegations in the warrant about a use of a firearm and the shooting of a firearm. Just so Your Honor is aware. I know Your Honor does read the warrants.
No allegations. This defendant did that.
Let's see. I remember this one for the other. It's like, who was it, him or his brother? I think that was the whole argument.
The allegations that the brother is supposed to brandish the firearm against an individual.
Yeah.
Not him, so.
So, she's like, I'm run ragged. Don't wake me up from the cold. So tell me what because I just did something with another one because it was one reset. So I've been kind of giving one reset, but he's had as a bond. So you give the subpoenas to, tell me how it goes.
What the prosecutor said is correct. It's a lot of moving parts.
Right.
But what happens is, with this particular case here, on January the 26th, I think it was around 9:33 in the morning. And what I do when I send the subpoenas out, especially for each case, 9 o'clock and 1 o'clock, it's a bulk code Atlanta.
Sure.
So this particular time I sent out 6 subpoenas for everything that's on our calendar today. And one email, Atlanta will respond received or ask questions or whatever, anything that maybe a case number or something like that. But all of that was worked out, and as you can see, Mr. Gurley is here and the rest of them is not. So all of those subpoenas is sent together with the officer's name on it, their badge number, and the case number.
So they say like, okay, Officer Smith doesn't work here anymore, or they'll say this officer, will they update you like that? Or do they let you know, we weren't able to serve because he was off, or he or she was off, or at training, or so, but nothing back from them?
No, ma'am.
So they don't tell you their off days, they don't tell you anything?
No, ma'am. They'll say, sometimes I get a little feedback, like what you said, they no longer work at this agency. I think they went to wherever, or this officer is in training, or the case number, can you help me out with the case number?
Right.
So all those things would have been worked out when I sent the emails earlier that morning on the 26th. So I got nothing other than, received. And we have Mr. Gurley here and.
Right, he got it.
So, with all due respect, Judge,
Oh,
when I come in court and none of them is here, I go back to the drawing board. That's another moving piece. I reach back out to the person that handles the subpoenas. And what will happen next is that she would contact the officer's supervisors. That's what takes a while, and you'll see them trickling in because the supervisor said, you need to be in court. And they'll say, okay, I'm coming from Ellenwood. You need to be in court. Okay, I'm coming from wherever.
right.
So that's what's probably going to happen shortly.
I mean, I've been in their shoes. I've been a cop. I work for the DA's office. I've been in your shoes chasing these people down. But like I said, it's just disappointing that they do this, and it's a hard job. Trust me, I did it 15 years, and it ain't been any easier, but it got harder. But it's like, you got to show up. It doesn't do any good if you go arrest, John Wayne Gacy and then don't show up to court, then John Wayne Gacy, not you, not John Wayne Gacy, I'm just saying, I threw that out there, and then nobody showed up, then John Wayne Gacy would have walked free and then, whatever. So is this the first time this has been on?
I thought, my understanding is it is. I'm going to confirm that right now, but I
I
do
mean,
believe
I'm sorry, I got it. Mine is pulling up now.
just had the recent bond hearing, but I think that was.
Yeah, I just did the bond hearing on the 31st. I mean, I specifically remember this and because we had to put it on a different calendar. She was on one and it was the wrong night. She had to come back another night. Yeah, because I just did on the 31st. We've been into. 1 minute.
And we are still also attempting to make contact with the victim in this case as well.
1 second.
Yeah, that's it. There have been no other hearings. First appearance was November 1st. Last bond hearing was January 31st. And this is the first time this is on the calendar. So we would just respectfully ask for a one-time reset and have the calendar notated that it has been reset one time.
All right. You got anything else, Ms. Taylor?
Judge, even though he's been granted a bond, he says he has issues with the bond amount, the conditions of the bond, et cetera. Again, he's been in custody more than 90 days. And again, like I said, the allegations on this warrant are not such that this man it can be considered dangerous, a danger, or even to me, I don't know that. Certainly, we wanted to argue whether there was even probable cause to be charged with what he's charged with, based on what is stated in the warrant. He knows what he did. He certainly knows he had nothing to do with any kind of aggravated assault. I don't think they can show the even probable cause. But we again, Judge, we'd ask to be dismissed. And the state's got other recourse. I'm here, so it doesn't matter. It's the first time on the calendar. He's been in custody since October 31st.
31st, yeah, October 31st or November the 1st, one of those.
I just think enough is enough, And again, no basis, no reason, no legal reason as to why the officer's not here to be responsible.
Well, it's definitely not because the DA's office isn't trying.
I was asking,
Yeah.
like I said, no shade being thrown on them. No, not trolling.
Ms. Taylor would never throw shade your way,
No,
Mr.
I'm throwing shade on the police, because like I said, even with what they told him, we hold it until we get you brought. He hasn't been charged with it, so this doesn't make any sense.
All right, so here's what I did. I'll give one, but I'll tell you this, Ms. Taylor, that what I did, another one, I'll give the one reset, but it's the 23rd or the 24th, which is a Thursday or a Friday, 9 a.m. or 1 p.m. And what I did today, when the officer didn't show up this time, instead of just dismissing it, I made it a UJR so that they don't go back and rearrest him. So if it's, I think that Thursday, the 20, of course it froze up, in the 23rd Thursday. If one of them's my calendar, then I'll obviously know.
February 23rd is a Thursday.
Okay, if you want it on the 23rd, that'll be my calendar and I'll know. And I'll obviously remember. Because I just remembered, I just did his bond hearing. So you want on the 23rd at 9 or 1?
1 p.m., Judge.
Okay. Do you have, you need to check your calendar or are you good?
No, that's all right.
All right. So it'll be the 23rd at 1 p.m. for one reset for the officer. And that gives you plenty of time, I guess, to.
And what'd you say about UJR? Judge?
I said the other one I did this morning, I'll just throw that out there because what I did this morning on one was it a UJR as opposed to dismissing it. So it did a UJR so they don't go indict, rearrest him.
All right, well, can we just do a UJR?
Well, we'll look at on the 23rd if this officer doesn't show up.
Yes, Judge.
For sure. I mean, so I'm just telling you, that's definitely an option, sir. Okay. And it's what, 2 weeks?
What's the amount of the bond?
There was $10,000.
$1,000 with an ankle monitor paid for by the county.
So I just did it Monday?
And some other conditions. Stay away from 880 Smith Street.
No, I did it Tuesday. Because you showed up Monday and it was reset to Tuesday. So it'll be the 23rd at 1 o'clock. And of course, if you work out something between now and then, Ms. Taylor will then let me know. I guess the other two officers aren't here for the other one. So Mr. Houston. Good to see you as always, Ms. Taylor.
Thought you were talking to me, Judge.
But good to see you always too.
Thank you. Who do you want, Judge?
So you just want to So neither one of the other ones, I guess, are expected. Do you know?
At this point, I would just defer to investigator. Paul, you expect?
Put it on. So it's position one, is it Sihan? Is that, or is it Chan and they just threw an I in it? Sihan, yeah.
Officer, that'd be Officer Mason. I don't see him in the courtroom now.
That is correct.
Yeah, you can bring out number one, Sihan.
We're still a team. I'm just, she might know more than me, so.
You're fine.
Yeah.
You're fine.
I know it's a system and it's like catch up the backlogs. You do prelims more often, but then it's like double the work for you. So
It's,
and I don't know how much, like now we're setting them out for the 23rd. I don't know if it's something where we can get them sit out, you get more notice or what would help. But it's just like, I mean, Mr. Houston knows on night court, I mean, it was rough. The wheels were falling off at first, but now it's like until, well, Ms. Taylor's gone, till the private attorneys get on there and want to talk too much. I mean, but it goes smooth except for private attorney nights. So any suggestions either of y'all have about trying to improve it and make it easier for y'all to get the officers or whatever, we'll do it. And we'll see what we can fix. I'm telling you, 3 days without pay, it happened to me one time. I forgot.
I'm thinking, Your Honor, that APD is taking some type of disciplinary action. I mean, when I sent the email this afternoon, that's Gertie is here, but the rest of it is not. And so the next thing is gonna happen, it could be all the way up to 5 o'clock. They're gonna start calling the officers, but it's too late because I think APD is telling them, here's one.
There's one of the officers now?
Yeah, okay. Whenever you get done.
Okay. I think they're getting days in the street now.
Okay, you'll see who it is. You can, it doesn't. No, it's-
What are you doing, Wes? Your officer's not here, so.
They don't realize that 1 o'clock is 1 o'clock.
Hey, this investigator phones, I had a missed call from this number. Hey, LT, let me give you a call back. I'm standing in for it. Okay. Yes. All right, I'm calling the reference to the subpoena tomorrow. Yeah, I'll talk to you. Okay, so that's for tomorrow. Another surprise for you tomorrow. We got a police officer that went to New York. Now they're trying to figure out who they're going to send. So Roswell, so it's a whole lot different, but I think Atlanta Police Department has decided to take some disciplinary action. I can see that in how the officers is coming in.
Yeah, more have showed up the last week and so, yeah.
So what I'm gonna do is get with the prosecutors and come up with a whole long list and just send it to APD and let them do whatever they're gonna do.
Well, I mean, if there's anything I can do to help, let me know.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so this is position one. So I'm probably going to destroy your first name. It's 22 CP 213-438. Or Jimin Sihan, is that close?
That's close.
Close enough, okay. 102 days without indictment. Got financial transaction, car theft, and criminal trespass. I don't know if you have a bond yet, but what's the position on the officer?
Officer Mason was subpoenaed. He is not in the courtroom. It's about 2:15. At this time, I am showing a $2,500 good bond on each charge.
October 25th.
Yes, Judge. We would ask for a one-time reset if Your Honor is so inclined, and the state is amenable to addressing the bond since there hasn't been one since October.
All right, go ahead, Ms. Houston.
Yes, Shauna, we would ask for a dismissal for warrant of prosecution. I didn't hear a legal excuse of why the officer is not present in court. The investigator stated that she sent out, I guess, a mask email for the subpoena, and one officer did show up, and we had the opportunity to knock out 3 cases. Not sure what happened here. He was subpoenaed, he didn't show, so we would just ask for dismissal. Mr. Sehan has been in custody for 102 days on charges that are not murder, rape, child molestation, but just simple financial transaction, not to lessen it, but in criminal trespass. So we would just ask for dismissal, Your Honor.
All right, I'll give the one reset. I'll give you the choice. Do you want the 23rd, 24th morning or?
If you give me 1 second, I can take a peek.
And we can still address bond if you'd like,
Okay.
since it's 5,000, it's October 25th.
said 23rd to 24th.
Yes, sir.
I would prefer the 24th.
24th, AM or PM?
We can go AM, Your Honor.
All right. Position one, Ms. Rowland, September 24th at 9 AM.
Got it, Judge. Thank you.
All right. So it's 102 days without indictment. As of October 25th, there's a $5,000 bond.
Judge, in regards to Mr. Position one, Judge, 17 prior arrests in Georgia, 7 misdemeanors, 2 FTOAs, 1 probation violation, no felony convictions, took a PTI on heroin back in 2017, nothing further.
All right. Go ahead, Ms. Houston.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry, man.
That's okay.
Thinking of my client. Mr. Sehan is 39 years of age, born and raised here in Georgia, graduated from GSU. The address on file is correct, Your Honor. I did not hear any type of felony convictions. In terms of bond, Your Honor, we would ask for a UJR on both charges. Thank you.
Yes, Judge. With respect to Ayala, we would submit there is significant danger posed to the public. There were multiple victims here. I was prepared to have Officer Mason testify about those victims and put the names in the record. There was also a criminal trespass allegation involved here. We submit that also is indicative of danger to property in the community. We would submit there is a risk of reoffending or committing additional felonies pending trial. We appreciate the lack of criminal convictions. $2,500 good bond is reasonable here. We ask that Your Honor allow it to remain, or we would leave any modification in your discretion. Nothing further from the state.
Okay. So we'll do no drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. Stay away from 306 Ardmore, Ardmore Circle in Atlanta, Georgia. Let's see, what storage unit place is that? This is a storage unit.
It was.
Is it? No, not you. You don't know because you weren't there. Oh, let's see.
Let me look it up real quick. Let's see, do I have
I mean, maybe it says on. Yeah. Oh, let's see. That maybe it says it on here. So. Yeah, the report's not scanned. It's this
Yeah, I have the report. It's not on the report either. I'm about to.
Ardmore. Wait a minute. Is that one the one near Piedmont Park? I think that's a public storage. Wait a minute. Let me Google it. My dad used the interwebs. That's what he says, right?
It's just like a home, like the back of a home.
Oh, let's see. Where is the apartment complex? Wait a minute. Oh, it's apartments. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Apartment complex. Okay. So stay away from there. It's called Ardmore and 28th in Buckhead, or
That's it.
Atlanta, Georgia.
It's on a realtor, but I guess that is an
And
apartment.
then, let's see, no further contact with,
Did you need those names?
yeah, do you want to, you can read the names.
I have Hay Lee. It's Hay Lee, but the first name is Hey, last name is Lee. Middle name Ree is Ri, and that's I'm probably going to mispronounce it, but it's Shenyun Lee. That's Seunghyn. Lee is Lee. And then we have Torian Spencer. Torian is Torian. Spencer is Spencer.
All right, no further contact with those folks. So you're going to have an ankle monitor paid for by the county with a 24-hour curfew except for court, lawyer, medical. Is it MH? Addiction? All right, so if Mr. Houston gets you in sort of MH or addiction program, sir, you can participate in those, okay? So you can leave for those. And employment, as long as you supply the name of your employer, proof of employment, the exact location and a schedule to Mr. Houston and to the ankle monitoring company. All right. So, but you go stay out of Fulton County unless you're here for court or to see your lawyer since you live up in Cumming, Georgia. All right. So I will make it $1,200 on each count. So then the Bell Project should help on that, right? Okay. And if you need an ex parte, send it to me if you think there's one, okay? So any sort of mental health treatment or addiction treatment, you can leave for that also. Please participate in any program that Mr. Houston gets you into, sir, okay? Best of luck to you.
I'm sorry, Judge. How much was that on each count?
$1,200 on each.
1,200, thank you.
$1,200 on each, so 24 total.
Got it.
1,200 each count, thank you. All right, so we'll bring out Marcus Barber, the last one. And what's the officer's name on this one?
Of Officer Dorsey.
Oh, I guess I looked at the one, okay. All right, this is position 4, Marcus Barber, 22 CP 213794, 88 days without indictment. Receipt, possession, or transport of firearm by a convicted felon, felony, first offender, etc. Possession, manufacture, distribution, sale of marijuana. Possession of MDMA with intent to distribute, possession of a firearm or a knife during the commission of or attempt to commit certain felonies, pedestrian and roadway, willful obstruction of law enforcement officer, possession of dangerous drugs. What says the state?
Yes, Judge. Our office has attempted to reach out to Officer Dorsey to see about his whereabouts today. He is not in the courtroom at this time. We would ask for a one-time reset if Your Honor is so inclined. I am seeing a $150,000 split bond with conditions. I believe that was Judge Oliver at the first appearance.
Is it in November?
Yes. If Your Honor is so inclined, we can take up bonds at this time. But that is the state's request, a one-time reset pending any additional updates from our investigator.
You notice he looked back for the investigator like she was behind him. She left that chair spinning when she ran out the door.
Didn't want any more time tracks, Your Honor.
He was like, boom, she ducked out of here. Go ahead, Mr. Houston.
Yes, Your Honor, we would ask for a dismissal for warrant of prosecution. We understand the court's discretion. Thank you.
All right, we'll give you the one-time reset. You want that January 24th at 9 a.m.?
Yes, that's
Same
fine.
day. All right, that'll be January 24th at 1 a.m., 9 a.m.
February
9 a.m.
24th, right?
February the
Okay,
24th, 9 a.m. I got to get it together day. And a one-time reset for the officer to appear. And is $150,000 good bond as of November the 8th. And he's been in 88 days without indictment, but judicial efficiency, instead of being 90 days in a couple of days, we'll go ahead and address it. Trial.
In regards to Barber Marcus, 36, prior arrest, currently on probation, 19 SC 165404, Schedule 3405, with the intent to distribute. Sentenced in 2019, 8 months confinement, 9 years, 4 months probation. 2 FTAs 2019, numerous other felonies, a felony battery, family violence, manufacturing, sale of marijuana, terroristic threats, burglary, Schedule 2, an attempted sale, and a prior aggravated assault. Nothing further.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Houston.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Barber is 45 years of age. We do have a good Atlanta address on file. He's been in Atlanta his entire life. There is no risk of him fleeing. His parents and his brothers, all of his siblings, aunts and uncles, grandparents, all live here in the Atlanta area. He does have 2 children, a 9-year-old and a 2-year-old. Does have his GED, and he was gainfully employed at STS Traffic Supply and Amazon prior to his incarceration. A lot of his work history, his background is warehouse and manual labor, all in the local Atlanta area. We understand that he does have a troubled history, Your Honor. In terms of bond, I would like to request on behalf of my client, he wants his request known for UJR. I would simply ask for a reasonable reduction on each charge, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay. And maybe you already know, it looks like there was a violation of probation warrant issued on January the 19th by Judge Farmer.
Okay.
Okay. What says the state?
Yes, Judge. We would ask that Your Honor allow the bond to remain as is. The defendant does have a bond now, so the 90 days actually before indictment, they would be entitled to one if it wasn't a bond, but there's a bond here. But we would submit there is danger posed to the community with the possession of controlled and scheduled substances. It's a fair amount. I think it's the 13.9 grams of marijuana, 20 pills of 18 grams of MDMA, and there was the dangerous drugs is buspirine, I believe is how you say it. Well, we would submit there is danger posed to the community with the possession of those substances, 15 grams of, buspirone.
And that East Point address is a good address for him?
Actually, has another address. It'll be, you want to put on the record?
Is it in Fulton County?
It is.
Oh, you just put in a change of address.
Okay, I will.
Yeah, you can just follow that. Just curious if it's in Fulton.
We're also concerned about the firearm here as well.
Yeah.
And open probation, FTAs, with the warrant, significant risk of reoffending pending trial is concerning the state, as well as the risk of not returning to its jurisdiction to face the trials, to face the charges. We submitted, it is fair and reasonable, no significant change in circumstances. Nothing further from the state.
All right, no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons. Stay away from 1200 Joseph E. Boone Boulevard. Next one. Already said no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons. You have an ankle monitor paid for by the county with a 24-hour curfew except for court, lawyer, medical. Does minor children live with him, Mr. Houston?
Yes, he lives with his fiance
Okay, and the minor children.
and
Right.
minor children.
And you can leave for children's medical appointments, sir, but you have to let the ankle monitor company know and Mr. Houston. Now, I'll tell you this. Don't be like, my child's got to go to Choa and you end up at Hooters eating chicken wings, okay? Because they check those addresses, okay? So don't take advantage of it. That's one warning. All right, so, and you can leave for medical care, of course, if the mom's not available and the child needs to go, you could leave for that. Work, as long as you provide name of employer, proof of employment, schedule, and the exact location you'll be working. Use the sidewalks if there's a sidewalk. That's also a condition. Let's see, that ankle monitor would be paid for by the county, sir. Let me see if there's anything I missed. Lori, that is all. And then you pull up this bond thing. I think, Bostic, this would be one where the judge ordered it to get it through pretrial, right? And it wouldn't have qualified.
Pedestrian roadway.
Yeah, the pedestrian roadway went through pretrial for the, I don't know why. All right, so we will go, let's see, 10, 15, 40, 10, and UJR to the jail. We're not gonna, tie up a pretrial officer for that. Let's see. Wait a minute, pedestrian roadway, yeah, okay, obstruction, there it is. 5 and 30. So we got 10,000, 15,000, 40,000, 10,000. UJR to the jail on pedestrian roadway, 5,000, and then 30,000.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And if you got that probation thing, so it's here though. If there's any sort of other hold, you have 48 hours to have that ankle monitor placed on your ankle. Best of luck to you, sir.
All right, I'll be back there.
I think that's it, right?
Yes.
Nothing else on the records. We can stop the stream. We can call it a day, at least for here, till tonight.
Nothing else.
Thank you, Your Honor. Everyone have a good afternoon.
Thank you too.